Good evening, my fellow GPers and caregivers. I was not going to do a video tonight. I am in the midst of a GP flare. It started last night and has progressed to today. I have some symptoms that I have are extreme exhaustion, extreme nausea. I've taken 8 of my nausea medications, my whole arsenal, and I still cannot get fluids down. It took me over 8 hours to drink 8 ounces of a shake. I can't eat or drink, and tomorrow is my daughter's 5th birthday, and it just seems like, but before anything that I want to do, something with my GP will flare, and it's just so darn frustrating. And the people who don't understand and you have to cancel on them aren't always kind, and they will write you off, and it's very frustrating if you hold this value dear to your heart. At least I found that way, because that wasn't me, it was GP, and I was constantly apologizing for what GP was doing. And I have come so far in my journey that yes, I am sorry that my illness does leak into other people that I love, but I'm not sorry, because I didn't do anything. I didn't cause my GP. I didn't ask for it. I didn't ask for the symptoms. I think that I do pretty well despite everything. I do keep things kind of inside. That's why this page is also not just to help you, but it helps me have an outlet. And I just really struggle with that. When you own your own business and you have days where you feel amazing, and then you have days where it's like the rug is pulled out from underneath of you, and you just can't do that day. And people don't, we are at an age in our history where, you know, we don't have any patience. If it's not there in a second, we move on. I mean, think about it. How many messages or emails do you read that's longer than an inch? We just don't make time anymore. And so I think it's just really important for you to know that it's not your fault, that if you have to cancel last minute, you have to think of yourself, because I can guarantee you, if the shoe was on the other foot, they would be doing what you're doing. They just don't understand. That doesn't give them, you know, a way, or let them off the hook, so to say. As long as you've been honest with them and you continually try to share with them, and they just truly don't try to understand and assume that about you, then I let those people go. You can do what you want, but I don't need people capsizing my boat. I have plenty of people who do love me and do care about me and know that about me and know that it's a struggle, and try to encourage me and help me through those things. And those are my forever people. Those are my supporters. And I encourage you, you know, if you have just 2 or 3, you are very, very lucky. I know that I'm very blessed, as I have a few more than that, and I'm so grateful. But I've also, you know, been really hurt. I've been shocked. If the shoe was on the other foot, I'm a very compassionate person, and I believe empathetic. So if it was anyone that I cared about struggling, I maybe wouldn't understand, like they don't a lot of the times, but that wouldn't stop me from listening. And that's another thing too, is just being able to listen. We tend to, this kind of is for our caregivers, I know that you want to fix us and you want to make it go away, and we appreciate that so much, but you can't. And so talking with us is so healing and so important. When you are, a lot of times when a spouse is unable to fix something, they'll shut down. It's just overwhelming and they can't fix it, and so they just have to shut it down. And that's where cracks begin to fall into your relationships and can lead down a road you don't want them to go. So these are just some of the things that I've learned along my way on my GP journey. Do I have everything figured out? No. I'm still learning. Just when I think I have it under control, days like today really just remind me that, you know, I am sick. Sometimes when I am in an amazing stretch of days where I feel good and I'm able to do the things that I love, I forget sometimes that I'm sick. And then I get a harsh reality check, and they're very hard. But I have also learned how to try to manage them more, try to catch them before. Sometimes I don't know. I could be doing something and all of a sudden I'm just done. But again, I guess the point of the message is don't let people tell you who you are. You know who you are. You're not your disease. Your disease does things that you don't like. It does things to other people that they don't like, but that's not your fault. That's not your fault. Please remember that. It's not your fault. Not your fault. It just is what it is. You know, my gastroparesis is idiopathic, which means it's just a fancy word for we don't know why she has it. There are people who do know why they have gastroparesis. Maybe their vagus nerve is damaged or struggle with diabetes or things of that nature that can bring upon gastroparesis. But when it's idiopathic, it just happens. And I was one of the unlucky 5 million people in our country who struggle with gastroparesis. And it threw me for a loop. I guess at my age, you know about cancer, you know about diseases, but you are young enough to where it's still not really a reality until it happens to you. And that's just something that I've had to accept. Not everyone is going to understand your journey, and you can sit there and try and try and try. But at the end of the day, they're still not going to understand. You kind of come across as desperate, and I can say that because I've done it. Because we just truly feel like a burden, and we want them to understand, and we feel like, okay, if they really understand what I'm going through, they'll know why I can't do certain things, what's going on with me. They will ask the questions that I want them to ask. They will listen, they will hold me, they will do the things. But my experience has been I've had to ask for those things. They didn't just come, and some people's journey, you've probably maybe had a different experience, and that's okay. Mine has just been different, and I share mine because it's what I know, and I just want to support the people out there who are going through kind of what I did when I was first trying to figure everything out with gastroparesis and living life and being a mom and trying to dig our family out of a hole that I had created or felt that I did, and get rid of that boulder off of my shoulders. But at the end of the day, I love my family. I didn't change. My stomach just did, and I am still me, and I still love them, and I would do anything for them. And so if someone in your life is not supportive, doesn't want to help, even after asking for what you need from them, really time to reevaluate, who you let into your life, because that can be really some stinking thinking coming on, and I just warn you of that. Again, I don't know everything. I just care so much, and I had the opportunity to speak with other people, and that's what I'll leave this with. I started this page so that I had seen another Facebook group that a girl had gotten kicked out for asking a question, and she was new to gastroparesis diagnosis. And I don't think that that's something that I would ever be able to do. The only rules I have on my page and my support group is just everything in kindness, and I think that's something we all can do. Other than that, a question is just a question, but people will take you the wrong way, and when they don't understand what you're trying to say, a lot of times they're listening to respond and not to hear. That's one thing that I've learned. Another thing is people are so busy they don't have the time nor the want to a lot of times know or understand our disease and take time to learn and educate themselves. That can be hurtful when it's people that are close to you. When it's acquaintance people or people you work with, that's just expected. But when it's close people to you, it can be really, really difficult. So with all these things, I'm just really not feeling well, so I'm going to pop off here. But I just wanted to just kind of share with you some of the things that I've learned through my journey, and I'm glad I'm doing these videos because I can kind of see how much I've grown, which then I can share with you how I was before and how far I've come. And that's the goal of this page, is to be an uplifting place where you can fill up your cup and feel supported, feel like you can share your story in a safe way, and to ask for help when you need it, and to just engage with others so that we can stay healthy emotionally along with our health challenge, because it's key. And having your GI tract out of whack automatically puts your emotions out of whack. If you didn't know that, read up a little bit more about gastroparesis and healthy gut flora and what that does for your body and your brain and your emotional state. So these are some of the things that I've come across, some of the battles, hurdles that I've had, and I'll just leave you with this. A GP flare is awful. Even now, I'm trying to put on a show because I just feel that bad. I did one bag of fluids. I felt sick after starting a second bag, so we stopped it. So now it's the resting game, and I've been taught by my doctor that's the time our bodies heal, is when we're sleeping, and sleep is very important. But if you're a GP, you also know that insomnia is a real symptom of GP, and sometimes I struggle greatly with that, and other times I'm so exhausted I can sleep for days, and I do. It's just a different way of life, and you can either be angry. I mean, being angry is part of the journey, but after a certain point, learning to accept and how to manage, and you can still get frustrated and do all those things, but to find a peace is what I'm trying to say. It's a journey, and I can't walk it for you. It's so important to go through, and I'm a better person for it. But was it really hard? Yeah. So for those out there in that space right now, I am praying for you. I'm praying for you if you feel like you got it all figured out. I just want everyone to feel supported and know that they're cared about. And if you ever need anything from me, I'm not just saying this, I would be so happy to help if I ever could. So stay strong, fight on, try not to say sorry. I challenge you, that's my challenge for today, is stop saying sorry for something that you didn't do. If you didn't have any legs and couldn't walk, would you apologize for needing a wheelchair? I mean, just because people don't understand. Sorry, I'm knitting a blanket. I do those things when I don't feel good to help me kind of keep my mind off of not feeling well as much as possible. But, you know, I think we just put a lot of pressure on ourselves because people don't understand what we have. And, you know, if we had a well-known chronic illness, people would be much more supportive, and it can be really frustrating. But my point is that you shape your own reality. You get to choose how you respond to those experiences, and the further down your journey, the better off you'll be. And it is a long process, and some, for other people, it's shorter, some longer. I always take the long road because I'm just that kind of person. I have to learn it on my own. People can tell me, but I have to go through it myself. So I hope that this is just a video that hits you today, and if there's a subject you'd like me to talk about, drop it in the comments, and I will share about that tomorrow. So with that, have a great night. I hope that anyone out there flaring, that you feel better. Thanks for the prayers. I pray for you all. Thanks for the likes, and thanks for the shares. Please keep it up. The way we can help more people, the more that know about us, and when we know better, we do better, and that's my goal. So hope you have a great night, and we'll talk tomorrow.